So I'm not a religious person at all. I don't believe in any sort of God or anything like that. But to see sometimes having an opposing side helps with a lot of things. And recently, the Satanic Temple, not to be confused with Church of Satan. I didn't know that those are two separate things, which is interesting in and of itself. But the Satanic Temple is not necessarily, I don't think they would call it a political movement, but as an outsider, I think it could be seen as a political movement in as much as I don't know where they sued. I probably should have looked that up, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head because that's what this is. They sued to get their Baphomet, which is I don't know if it is Satan, but it's the as above, so below. It's like that and that. So, you know me. They sued to get that because a Christian group had put up the Ten Commandments, and that's unconstitutional. So they said, well, we just want to have religious documents or document the religious things. So they said, okay, well, we have our Satanic Baphomet. We want to do that. We want to have ours. And I think they won. They did win. What they won, I totally don't know. But the point of this, it has a point, believe it or not, was I looked up the Satanic Temple because I thought it was Church of Satan. It's not. But the Satanic Temple has 7 what they call fundamental tenets. The Church of Satan has tenets too. I disagree with a couple of the Satanic, the Satanist ones, but the Satanic Temple I think aligns more with my thinking. It's almost I don't want to call it humanist, which I would consider myself, but it's more humanist aligned. I'll just go over them really quickly because I agree with them. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance to reason. Using the word reason is nice. Acting on reason in the human experience doesn't always work, but it should be something you strive for, so I can agree with that. Number 2, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. I completely agree with that. Justice is an odd concept, a rather new concept really, but it should always, because a state will have something, but the real justice is something that should transcend whatever a government says. I agree with that. Number 3, one's body is inviolable. I had to look that word up. I didn't know that word. I'm not that smart. I don't know if you do that. I make thousands of YouTube videos. Doesn't mean I'm smart. It actually indicates that I'm not. But anyway, and is subject to one's own will alone. So your body is yours, and you should have the right to do with it what you want. It doesn't say within reason, but within reason kind of fits in that too, because if you want to do drugs, that's your thing. If you want to get 600 pounds, you shouldn't, but if you do, then that's your problem too. And if you should take care of yourself, eat well, that's your thing. But I mean, if you don't, that's your problem, basically. I'm paraphrasing and I'm adding my own interpretation to it, obviously. Number 4, the freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. I'll read the rest of it. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of to willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego your own. The first part, the freedom to offend, that seems kind of like, I don't know, but the freedom to offend is odd wording, because offense is taken, not given. I can't make you be offended about something. You have to be offended by something. So maybe I disagree a little bit with that. But to willfully and unjustly encroach on the freedoms of others is to forego your own. I completely agree with that, because don't mess with other people. It's that simple. Don't mess with other people. I don't know why you want to mess with other people. Anyway. Beliefs should conform to our best scientific understanding of the world is number 5. We should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit our beliefs. That's everything right there to me. Reality is reality. If you want to have these, whatever you want to believe, that's your problem, but you shouldn't interfere with reality to try to fit your ideas into whatever. That's number 5, that's the 5th tenet. That's everything to me. People are fallible. This is number 6. People are fallible. If we make a mistake, we should do our best to rectify it and resolve any harm that may have been caused. That one is a really interesting one. That's an important one. That's something that a lot of people are struggling with now. What happens when you do something bad? What happens if you hurt someone or kill someone? That's another thing. And hurt is a very vague definition. If you physically harm someone, you bruise someone, you break their bones or something, then that's a different thing, I feel. But if you hurt someone's feelings, if you say something, rectifying it, getting to a point where you can apologize to the person, have them understand your point of view maybe, but mostly get to a point where everything's smoothed out basically, right? So don't hurt other people, don't mess with other people. It seems so simple, so elementary, but I guess it has to just keep being repeated. And this is the final tenet. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. Hopefully that's what I'm trying to do. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. Yes, the spirit is often lost. The spirit of the law is something that's always lost. You should always strive to try to be better, is what I boil that down to. Whether it's doing this, some silly thing like that, or just being a good person in general, striving to be better. I mean, that's the bottom line in everything too. So I just ran across this and I just thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit and expand on what I thought the tenets were and how I agree mostly with the tenet. I'm not gonna join the Satanic Temple. I don't wanna. I go out of my way to not be in any sort of even seemingly religious thing. It's just not my thing. It's just not. If that's yours, that's fine. That's one of the tenets. I'm gonna leave you alone. That's your thing. Do your own thing. That's a big part of this whole thing. But I just find it interesting that there are groups like this, and I can actually agree with something like that. Doesn't mean I'm going to join it. Doesn't mean I'm really interested beyond making a YouTube video and thinking about it a little bit. It's been like a week of me thinking about this, so I just find it interesting. So that's Satanic Temple.